Hi. Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am ItsKim. If you've never seen me before, this is my channel. I like to talk about pop culture. I really love psychology and mental health and understanding the way that pop culture affects all of us. And I also love Britney Spears. So we're going to be doing a lot of coverage on her because her new book just came out, and there's also been some stuff in the media about her. So today we are going to talk about a few Britney things. But after our halftime, when we go through our topics, we like to have a fun section called What the What, where we just kind of look at things from around the internet. We just laugh, we have a good time. This is an interactive show, so I do interact with the chat quite frequently, my community of space angels. And if you do like my content and you're interested in becoming a space angel, check out membership. It's a low price, everybody's at the same tier. And if it's just not something you can do right now, that's totally fine. We tend to have gifting wars in here, and you may just be lucky enough to be able to get a membership from one of our very, very generous community members. So thank you so much for being here. I am so happy to be here. I do just want to let you guys know. Let me see here. Um, Sorry, I am going to go ahead and throw a link in the chat. And I have that in the chat because those are my friends, Andy and Steph. They currently have a stream going on their channel, Popcorn Palace. So if you're into royal news, there's just been a really big decision made in a case regarding Samantha Markle. So if you are interested in that, you can go over there and check out their content. And then when you're finished, you're welcome to come back here and hang out. But I know not all of you guys are super into royal news. So we are going to start and go through the Britney stuff. So I hope that that's all right with everybody. Yeah, sorry. Okay, all right. So I am just checking out here. We have had some support come in. You guys have been super kind. Thank you so much to Tammy, who became a YouTube member earlier. Welcome to the Space Angels. I'm very happy that you have decided to join us. It's very kind of you. Katie Artist 94, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. Hype. I really, really appreciate you and your constant support of this channel. And the General is back. Hello, General Scott. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Very much appreciate that. It is good to see everybody. I gotta say today, guys, we got a full show. We got a lot to go through, which is why I really didn't want to wait too much longer. Um, because the news. Oh my gosh, you guys, the news. Um, I really wish that I was not talking about this, but we are. We are because I am upset. I am very upset, and we are going to go through it. Um, so I'm going to start right off the bat with the main topic, and we're going to start going into it. So here we go. First thing I just want to say is that this stream is going to be full of speculation and opinion and should not be taken as fact. Also, we're going to be talking about somebody today that I'm not super happy with. But I do want to make it really clear that I'm not okay with people going and sending people hate. It's not cute. It doesn't help. It's fine to have an opinion, but harassing people and being really, really mean about it, I'm not okay with. So please do not send hate to anybody that I mention in this story or even on this channel in general. We don't do that. I don't like that. So please don't do that. And also, hi, YouTube human reviewer. I do my best to follow the community guidelines and to respect the rules that you have put forth on YouTube. I do. I try my freaking best. And so much so, we actually have like a video that I have here for times when we talk about this.
I'm trying.
So I will be doing my best. So no worries. I won't be saying any trigger words. Everything is all good. Okay. So to anyone who has not seen it, I guess I will be the one to break this to you. The Britney army and many people who aren't even Britney fans have turned against Timbaland. Now, Timbaland, if you do not know, is a producer, songwriter, musician who has collaborated with a lot of artists over the years, and very notably, Britney's ex, Justin Timberlake. And the two of them actually worked on Cry Me a River together in 2002, and they've regularly been collaborating for about the past 20 years or so. And Timbaland said some really disgusting things about Britney. And even when I'm not happy with somebody, I still do my best to show everything in full context. So that is what we are going to try to do today. I'm going to try to be fair to Timbaland. But I'm not going to lie, this is tough for me. And it's tough for me because to me, this story is a massive bummer. Massive. I am very angry. I am very disappointed, but I want to address my bias. I obviously love Britney. Like love Britney. But in the spirit of transparency, I have enjoyed a lot of Timbaland's work. I am a fan of some of his music. And that's part of why it's upset me this much. And I've lost a lot of respect for him. And in the spirit of transparency, I am going to play the clip of what it is Timbaland said. I will have to stop and start. If anyone knows where this clip originally came from, like the first person to post it, can you please tell me? Because I have been searching to try to figure out exactly where this started from, and it's been very, very difficult. So I don't know who to give credit to. But if you know who to give credit to, please let me know, and I will add it to the doc in the description. I always have all the links of everything that I reference and images and things like that. Always have it in the document below. I never intend to steal credit. That is not what I do. And I hope that that makes some sense. So here we go. We're going to see this clippy together. You guys are ready. I'm just going to go over here and throw this up. All right. You guys ready? Here we go.
Because of Britney's memoir, she said that she's all crazy, right?
So that's fun. We're starting right off with Britney's crazy. That's great.
I want to call her JT, man. You got to put a muzzle on that girl.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't mishear that. That is the quote. Put a muzzle on that girl.
JT, man. You got to put a muzzle on that girl.
That alone is just so disgusting. So disgusting. But he said more.
But you know what? We live in the age of social media and viral. Everybody will go viral. I get it, because that's the way you make money. Go viral. I got to do something to get people attention.
Yeah. So he called Britney crazy. He said he wanted to call JT to put a muzzle on her. And that basically, like, her book was just a way to get her to go viral, to get more attention. You know, because Britney Spears doesn't get enough attention on her own. And I have to say, for that reason, with as much respect as I can muster, Timbaland, stop talking. Just stop. Stop talking. I will not defend this in any regard. You deserve the backlash you are getting right now. And I'm going to talk about it. So let's go through an article about it and unpack this. So this is from Us Weekly. It looks like my logo for Us Weekly didn't come through. I usually try to do that. So my apologies, Us Weekly. This is yours. Timbaland says Justin Timberlake should have put a muzzle on Britney Spears before a memoir release. I cannot believe that this is a headline. I can't believe I'm uttering that. It was so hard when I was trying to put together like the thumbnail for this, because it was like, I feel like I'm making like a ridiculous clickbait thing, but I'm not, because it's just the whole thing's just so preposterous. So Timbaland is facing backlash for his controversial remarks about Britney Spears. She's going crazy, right? Timbaland 51 said of Spears 41 in footage from a recent panel circulating via Twitter. His comment came after a reporter pointed out that Justin's Cry Me a River, which Timbaland produced, is making headlines again after the release of Britney Spears' memoir, The Woman in Me. Timbaland, for his part, continued to slam Spears for her memoir during the panel, claiming she wrote the book just to get people's attention. You know what? We live in an age of social media and everyone wants to go viral. I get it, because that's the way you make money, is to go viral. The Woman in Me hit shelves in October and featured candid details from Spears' past, including various claims about her relationship with Timberlake, who she dated from 1999 to 2002, after meeting on the set of the Mickey Mouse Club. In her debut tomb, Spears spoke of alleged infidelity, on both sides, recalled being broken up with by Timberlake via text message, which I'm sorry, the more that I think about that, the more ridiculous it is. They had a house together. It's just so weird. It's so weird. Um, and revealed she had an at home, her pregnancy was ended after finding out she was pregnant before the pair broke up. Spears touched on Timberlake's infamous Crimey River and its subsequent video in her book, detailing the power Timberlake had in shaming her after the split. Spears also wrote, although managers tried to portray her as an eternal virgin, she was quickly labeled as a cheating SLUT and a liar after Timberlake publicly confirmed their relationship was actual in a 2003 interview with Barbara Walters. After the Woman in Me's release, a source exclusively told US Weekly that the former NSYNC band member wasn't expecting Spears to delve into the personal history to the extent that she did. Justin thought Britney might talk about their ups and downs in more general terms, not air out the very personal, dirty laundry, the insider said. He's disappointed that she went this route decades after they split up. Timberland turned off his Instagram comments in the wake of their memoir drama. He also flew away. He went somewhere with his family. And I will say with this article, this bothers me because I feel like this insider source, like, we all know that Justin's team was totally talking to the publisher of the book and being like scared of what was coming out. Now we know why he was so scared, but it's just kind of ridiculous. Oh, sorry, I just realized I duplicated those two. Sorry about that. Timberlake, who went on to wed Jessica Biel in 2013, had not publicly addressed The Woman in Me, though a separate source told us last month that he's trying to distance himself from his ex's claims. Spears, meanwhile, insisted she did not mean to offend anyone with the memoir. She said, "My book's purpose was not to offend anyone by any means." She wrote on Instagram in October, "That was then, oh, that was me then. That is in the past. It is a beautiful clean slate from here. I am here to establish it that way for the rest of my entire life. Either way, that is the last of it, and stuff happens. This is actually a book I didn't know needed to be written. Although some might be offended, it has given me closure on all things for a better future." All right. So that's what the media is saying. And to follow that up, Timbaland decided to apologize last night. And I have an article here to read briefly, and I found a video, and I have found that finding the video of the whole apology is very difficult. There's like a 17-second clip that's getting floated around, but he talked about it quite a bit more. Um, and I am nervous to show you guys the clip of his apology. And I think you'll understand why after I show you guys what he said. So I'm going to start with the article. Then I'm going to go into what I've transcribed to the best of my ability. To be clear, Timbaland in the clip when he's talking is very flustered. There's a lot of repeating himself and at times stuttering. So I've done my best to write it out so that I can share with you what he said. So if you want to see the videos, they are in the doc in the description. You are welcome to go and take a look at them. And I give credit to those creators as well for screen capping it and sharing it with everybody. But I think it's important that we look at everything. So, page 6 reported Timbaland apologizes to Britney Spears after saying Justin Timberlake should have put a muzzle on her. I cannot believe this. Is it too late to apologize? It's too late. Timbaland issued an apology to Britney Spears after he said Justin Timberlake should have put a muzzle on her amid the release of her bombshell memoir. "I'm sorry to all the Britney fans, even to her," the music producer said on TikTok Live Tuesday evening. "You have a voice. You speak what you want to speak. Who am I to tell you what not to speak? I was wrong for saying that," he added. Timbaland then emphasized that he respected women, saying HE double hockey stick, yeah. Just I've never heard an apology that ended with like with that being said. I think the only person I would accept that from would be Jenna Marbles. I just can't. I can't. Oh, so this was the clip. It was like a 2-minute clip I found, and this was what he said, and I'm going to do my best to read this for you guys. Britney fans, you're right. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Muzzle, there are just certain words you don't like a dog. No, like she's not no dog. What the frig am I saying? You know what I'm saying. Like if I look at it from the outside looking in, that's kind of effed up because I see it from a lot of perspectives. Regardless, though, I will say it. I didn't mean it. I was joking. I'm going to be honest. Like, just a lot of things when it comes to mental health. You don't know what is a trigger. I'm very mindful of that. But when it comes to this music, that's when I'm a battle. You can judge me for what I say when I come up here. You sitting me so bad, that's a different story. Even that, I still try to find a way to be like, no, I say a no today, but that doesn't mean it won't be a no tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hug you. I'm gonna keep it 100. But in this scenario, I was wrong. It was just I got too comfortable, just rambling out the mouth. Don't know what you're talking about. I have to say him saying like I got too comfortable just rambling while he is rambling. This was it's yeah. Oh, um, but from a different lens, just as Justin Timberlake, and then he literally just kind of stops talking and goes, "Eh." But at the end of the day, it's none of my business. It's none of my damn business. I hate it when I get caught slipping too. We're not perfect. Nobody is perfect on this, but I don't like to be the one in the blogs like that. That's a line. That's a line right there. But I don't like to be the one in the blogs like that. Okay? If y'all Britney fans up in here, I can talk to y'all. I was wrong, but don't come up here and KILL me now. Don't crucify me. If I bring it up here, it's because GDing, I did say I was wrong. Because I'm looking at like, I'm a father. To me, all the Britney fans, you're right, I'm wrong. I apologize to the Britney fans, and her, and yes, all about respecting women. Yeah. So that's what was said last night. Now, there's a lot of people who are talking about this because apparently he also revealed on that TikTok live, I have not seen the clip of it, that reportedly Missy Elliott reached out to him and told him that what he did wasn't right. And just for that, I just want to say thank you, Missy. Thank you, Missy. Thank you for being the incredible person that you are. I'm always amazed by you. Awesome. Awesome possum. Um and so here's the thing. I have struggled with what I want to say about this. I'm angry. I'm offended, but unlike Timbaland, I try to have some tact when I talk and I will not be running my mouth the way that I would like to without restraint. Because when I sit in front of an audience and I try to share my opinion, I try to do so with respect. I'm not perfect either. And it's not my intention to crucify him. And I know he probably doesn't like that he's on the YouTubes and the Twitters and the blogs and whatever. But I think it's also important that we have a discussion. And the rambling he did last night, I somehow feel like it got worse. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, the reality is, it's 2023. And I feel like we should be in a place where people don't laugh at comments like what he made. And I understand uncomfortable laughter. Like that's a thing that I do 100%, but like it was not funny. The idea that a woman should be silenced with a muzzle, like a rabid animal, because she said something that someone doesn't like is nothing short of ridiculous. Nothing short of ridiculous. What he said was disgusting and quite frankly misogynist and ableist. And I don't like to use that M word very often. It just, but I don't know how else to look at it. Like it is what it is, right? Put a muzzle on that girl. How do you want me to interpret that? Britney has publicly struggled with her mental health and she's been through immense trauma. And I'm going to get really basic with my terminology here. Calling her crazy is mean. It's full stop. It's the equivalent in my mind of kicking someone when they're already down. Calling her crazy is mean. She is not crazy. She is healing. And I honestly think Timbaland should thank God every day that he doesn't understand why she does what she does, because he doesn't understand what she does because she hasn't experienced the hell that she has. Bluntly put. So, I guess this would kind of be my message to Timbaland. I could call Timbaland a lot of names, but there's one that mainly comes to mind. You're a bully, Timbaland. You are a grown man with power, influence, and talent who is still on the playground being a bully. And it feels like you apologize because you didn't want fans to turn on you, not because you understand how damaging you have been to Britney over the years and how damaging your words can be. I can't speak for every Britney fan, and I will not, but it's more important to me that you apologize to Britney privately and publicly than to her fans. We defend her because we've watched people hurt her for decades and we've had enough because she's been treated like less than a human being. And you are continuing that whole thing. It's gross. That's why we're mad. Do right by her and we don't have a problem with you. Period. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. And it hurts because, like, I feel like I'm kind of in this place where it's like the Tyra Banks thing of being like, I was rooting for you. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to compare her to an animal like that. That's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I don't think me saying that is crucifying you or attacking you. I think it's just stating the obvious that apparently was not obvious to you. Okay. Sorry. I also just want to say I think he might be projecting a little bit about Britney trying to make headlines. Did you know Timbaland has a new song out? Not the one with Justin that he put out a couple months ago. The one that came out on October 20th. It had a feature. Do you know the artist? Do you guys know the name of it? Because the thing is, I can't find any details on its release. I can't find any charts that it's on. And its YouTube video of the single uploaded on October 19th has a grand total of 1 million views. And I'm not saying that 1 million views is not impressive. I mean, I don't get those numbers. I'm not throwing any shade on that. But to put that in perspective, Britney's flop last single with will.i.am, Mind Your Business, has 18 million views. And that's not even a music video. It's just a picture of her face and will.i.am. So I can't help but wonder, was he trying to go viral? Did he see an opportunity to latch on to the success of Britney's best-selling memoir? Because that to me is more believable than Britney Spears writing a memoir for attention. I think she wrote the memoir because she literally was caged for 13 years and didn't have the option to be able to speak. So she did. The reality is Britney Spears can breathe and get headlines. She doesn't need to do anything. She literally does not need to do anything to get people to talk about her. Because as she says in Mind Your Business, I am the economy. She literally is the economy when it comes to paparazzi. People are way more likely to click on a headline about her than about you, Timbaland. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. And again, not trying to be mean, but let's just be realistic. I'm just trying to do a reality check here because it's just bonkers to me. And honestly, a part of me wonders, is he still bitter? Because Timbaland really wanted Britney to work with him in 2007. He wanted her to work with Justin. And he actually publicly said that he wanted an apology from her. This article's from 2007, September 13th. He said that the collaboration was close to happening, but Britney's ego got in the way. She should humbly humble herself, Timbaland told MTV News, and make a phone call to say, I'm sorry, that's it. She knows what she's sorry about, too, he added. Brit needs a hit, Timbaland said, and considering his success over the past year with Timberlake, 50 Cent, and Nelly Furtado, he is the producer to do it, but not until Britney Spears is willing to take the advice. And he closed it by saying, she got so big headed and was like, screw you, I don't need anybody. He said, first of all, I immediately think of the I Wanna Go video with that when she's like, F you, you're cool. F you, I'm out. Like, literally, she did this, which is really funny to me. But let's be real here. The album that would have been on would have been Blackout. Blackout peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 200. Shock Value, his album that came out that year, peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200. In pure sales, Blackout beat Shock Value. The only song on Shock Value to go number 1 on the Hot 100 was Give It To Me, which was a song with him, Nelly Furtado, and Justin Timberlake. And normally, features have a better chance of getting a number 1 because you have multiple fan bases that come together, right? So, I mean, like, that's all I'm saying. In all fairness, Blackout does not have a song that hit number 1 on the Hot 100, which I think many of us just think is ridiculous. But at the time, Britney was not promoting a huge amount. And I mean, for Break the Ice, there really wasn't even any promotion. The whole promotional thing of Blackout did not go super well. But considering there was basically no promotion other than the VMA performance and the Eminem's little tour that she did, I mean, peaking at number 2 is pretty good. But which lead single of that album has, stood the test of time? And if we look at Spotify, it's pretty clear. Britney wasn't big-headed. She just knew what she wanted and she knew what she was doing. So, yeah. Or is it possible that Timbaland is just trying to distract from other gross things that he said? Like, for example, the time that he shared that as a 23-year-old man, he was in love with 16-year-old Aaliyah, and he married his wife because she reminded him of Aaliyah. I'm not making this up. He said it. It's weird. It's uncomfortable. Timbaland and Justin benefited from the misogyny that I don't even know how to say this. Okay, they benefited from misogyny and now they're having to answer for it, and I don't think they like it. So I guess they're just going back to the old reliable, which is making Britney the target. And for the record, she doesn't need a muzzle. Timbaland, however, might want to shut up. What he said might have been funny in 2007, but it's not now. And please know that I mean this in all sincerity. As he said in the extended clip, he is a father. And I would hope that he wants a better world for his daughter, that he wouldn't want to see the women in his life suffer like Britney has. And it sucks that he's chosen to use his voice in this way that not only hurts Britney, continues to hurt her after the years that he has been complicit in that, but it also hurts women and it stigmatizes mental health. It's a choice. It is a strong choice. So I guess to close off my TED Talk, to close off my rant, I want to close by letting Britney speak. Because she does talk about this a bit in her memoir, the Crimea River situation. So she said in the book, soon after my return, Justin was preparing to release his solo album, Justified. On 2020, he played an unreleased song for Barbara Walters called Don't Go, Horrible Woman that seemed to be about me. I thought our love was so strong. I guess I was dead wrong. But to look at it positively, hey girl, at least you gave me a song about another horrible woman. Less than a month later, he released the video for his song Crimea River, in which a woman who looks like me cheats on him, and he wanders around sad in the rain. In the news media, I was described as a harlot who had broken the heart of America's golden boy. The truth, I was comatose in Louisiana, and he was happily running around Hollywood. May I just say that on this explosive album and all the press that surrounded it, Justin neglected to mention that the several times he cheated on me? There's always been more leeway in Hollywood for the men than for women. And I see how men are encouraged to talk trash about women in order to become famous and powerful, but I was shattered. The thought of my betraying him gave the album more angst. It gave it purpose, a talking unfaithful woman. The hip hop world of that era loved that story time with the theme F you. Getting revenge on women for the perceived disrespect was all the rage at the time. Eminem's violent revenge song Kim was huge. The only problem with that narrative was, in our case, it wasn't like that. Crimea River did very well. Everyone felt sorry for him, and it shamed me. I felt like there was no way that at the time that I could tell my side of the story. I couldn't explain because I knew no one would take my side once Justin had convinced the world of his version. I don't think Justin realized the power he had in shaming me. I don't think he understands it to this day. After Crimea River came out, anywhere I went, I could get booed. I would go to clubs and I would hear boos. Once I went to a Lakers game with my little sister and one of my brother's friends, and the whole place, the whole arena, booed me. So I get it. Timbaland doesn't want to be on the blogs. He doesn't want the stan community going after him. He doesn't want any of that type of thing. Well, neither did Brit. She didn't. But you made a name doing that to her. You fed her to the wolves. And now you're getting a fraction of that karma back. Be uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable. Try to have some empathy for her and what you did. That's all I'm going to say. So I am going to close this with a poll for my viewers. Do you accept Timbaland's apology? Let me know. Let me know. So I'm going to turn back to the chat now. Let me put in my poll. Do you accept Timbaland's apology? Yes or no? Let me know. And I hope you guys feel like I was fair. There were a lot of things I omitted that I could have gotten into, but I did not. But I just I couldn't shake the feeling that like this was, how do I put it? Like I felt like it was more of an apology to the fandom of him kind of being like, please don't hurt me. It wasn't actual like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, that was horrible. I'm so sorry, Britney. I'm so sorry, Britney. I didn't, like I obviously need to look inward at myself to think that that would be, an appropriate thing to say. But, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Yeah, exactly. Please don't cancel me. I also I'm sorry. When he said the whole I don't like being on the blogs or whatever was like, a part of me just immediately just thought of Elaine in the Johnny Depp trial being like the Twitters. Anybody else think of that? Because I did. I did. It was funny to me. Yeah, or you know what? Yeah, it's very producer sister just reminded me it's very reminiscent of early Britney. Everyone's doing the emails. So let's email my heart. I don't know if any of you guys remember that deep cut. That's a favorite thing of mine. Everybody was doing the emails. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to say thank you so much to the 158 people who are still in here. That is wild to me. It does look like my friends Andy and Steph are still streaming. So I'm going to say again, if you are into royal news and you want to know what's going on right now with the Samantha Markle case, my friends Andy and Steph have the exclusive. The stream's there. If you want to go watch what they're doing, that's totally fine. You can come back and see me when you're done. Totally get that. Want to support my friends. You guys are amazing. Much love. Very, very happy for them. And, court is court, right? You don't get to choose when things happen. And I do want to say thank you to everybody that understood why I delayed the stream today. I want to be supportive. And yeah, so I hope you all are doing great. But it's awesome to see the 153 of you here that I can see. That's super, super awesome. So just going to double check here. Duh. Okay, I think we're good. All right. We're all right. So I am going to say to you guys, please remember to like the stream. Please consider subscribing if you have not. The algorithm has been awful to me in the past 7 days. It's honestly the strangest thing, and I'm going to be honest about it. And I just want to be transparent with you guys. I know that on this channel, I've kind of changed the format a bit. I've gone from doing standalone videos that are usually about 10 minutes long to doing these streams. But since I've started doing these streams, every single one of my statistics has skyrocketed, except one, and that's my subscriber count. It's actually been dropping. And it's very frustrating because I'm getting a lot of messages that even people that are members, like paid members of my channel, are getting unsubbed. So I would ask you guys, please consider making sure that you're subbed. Please consider, if you know someone that you think would enjoy my content, you can share me with them because I'd love to see them join our community. I want to create a place where people feel, safe and they can come as they are and we can just have a good time and be honest with each other and, be a mess because I'm very open about that. I am a disabled woman. I'm a mess. Like everybody else is a mess. And all of our mess is beautiful. All of our mess is fun sometimes. And I think it's just a great time to come together and try to have a bit of a reprieve from life, but also still be realistic. Yeah. So all those things. Yeah. Do it for Dan. No, don't do it for Dan. Do it for OP. Do it for OP. We are going to have a Dan update later on. We are going to have a Dan update. I do promise that. Okay. So here we go. I am going to do the next Britney Book Club. So for those of you that don't know, I've been just going through Britney's book. We've been doing a couple chapters at a time. I will go through the next chapters relatively quickly, give you my thoughts on it. But this is also just for people that can't get the book or they want to hear my input on it, what I thought was important. So off we go. Let's do that. And then we'll move into our halftime and then we'll have our fun section. Okay. So I hope that that's good. Everybody knows what we're doing? Sounds great. All right. So let me pull up my other script. Do. All right. So where we left off was chapter 32. So Brittany describes the strict control and surveillance she experienced under her dad's conservatorship. The last episode we had just done, it basically stopped with Jamie Spears looking at Brittany and saying, basically, I'm in charge now. I am Britney Spears now, which is really, really creepy. She reveals how her security team would actually sweep locations for any drinks or substances before she arrived, and how her dates were subjected to background checks and strict confidentiality agreements before really they even met, which was weird. And I can say I know Iggy Azalea, the rapper, she confirmed that her place was searched during the time that she collaborated with Britney for Pretty Girls, and it was very weird, and she was very uncomfortable. Brittany expresses her frustration and humiliation, as well as her fear of her dad's control. She shares that she had limited freedom and was constantly monitored, leaving her to feel tired and scared. Additionally, Brittany mentions losing contact with close friends and the impact of the conservatorship on her music career. Despite the restrictions, she complied for the sake of her children. And she basically says in the book, I'd be willing to sacrifice my life for them. Why would I not be willing to sacrifice my freedom? It is what it is, which is just so, so sad. Chapter 33, Brittany talks about initially going along with the conservatorship for the sake of her sons, but how it became increasingly and incredibly difficult. She felt that her true self was being suppressed and that her spirit was being hindered. And Brittany expresses compassion for her past self and acknowledges during her rebellious phase, she produced her best work. However, she realizes that she could have focused more on her personal life instead of constantly fighting to see her children. She also highlights the double standards she faced as a woman in the music industry, where male artists were praised for their rebellious behavior, while she faced constant criticism and control. Brittany shares the emotional impact of the conservatorship and how her father's comments about her body constantly worsened her self-esteem. She describes feeling infantilized and stripped of her womanhood and becoming more like an entity than an individual. And despite this, she still accomplished a lot during that time. She won numerous awards and acknowledged the support of her fans. Britney concluded that emphasizing that she deserved better treatment from her family and reflects on the irony of her success during a time that she was supposedly incapable. Then we go into chapter 34, and Britney reflects on her relationship with Jason Trawick, which I don't know if you guys remember him. So he was an agent who was a friend of her brother's, and they started dating. Then they got engaged. Then he became a co-conservator. So he also controlled her life. So she also then talks about the strained relationship with her father and her dissatisfaction with the conservatorship. She talks about X Factor when she did X Factor as a judge, and she didn't really like it. She wasn't a big fan of it. Um, but she did share about the breakdown of the relationship with Jason, and this actually surprised me. I did not know this. She said it was around that time that I got engaged to Jason. He got me through a lot of things, but in 2012, not long after he became my co-conservator, my feelings changed. I couldn't see it then, but I see now that having him tied up with the organization controlling my life might have played a part in draining the romance out of our relationship. There came a point where I realized that I didn't have any bad feelings towards him, but I also didn't love him anymore. I stopped sleeping in the same room with him. I just wanted to cuddle my kids. I felt such a bond with them. I literally closed the door to him. My mom said, "That is hateful." She said, "I'm sorry, I can't help it." I said, "I don't love him anymore like that." And then she said he actually broke up with her. And then he kind of had like a midlife crisis thing, but she's like, totally get it. Like, but they just grew apart. It wasn't meant to be. She doesn't seem to have any super like negative, like he sucks energy towards him at all. So that's the dirt. That's the dirt on that relationship. That's what we got. Chapter 35, Britney reflects on her time in Las Vegas, particularly the residency that started in 2013. Initially, she enjoyed performing and felt the support of her fans. However, her father began asserting more control over her life, including her diet and exercise. He even sent her to rehab against her will and deprived her of seeing her children. Now, this is my favorite part. She was sent to rehab over energy supplements that her boyfriend at the time gave her. And I have the section here because I think this is important because it does kind of explain how this happened. So her boyfriend Charlie was really, really into workouts, and Brittany was on a super limited diet. And there has been some communication about this that if what Brittany is saying is true, realistically, she was not getting a diet that she needed to be able to do the show. She said it was just chicken and canned vegetables. So like minimal carbs, which obviously you need energy to do physical activity, all those things. But this was so much about from Brittany's perspective, I think Jamie trying to control what she was eating because he was trying to control her weight and was constantly telling her that she was too fat and all those types of things. So she wasn't getting what she needed. Charlie knew she wasn't getting what she needed, and he was a fitness, you know, advocate. So Charlie worked out every day, taking pre-workout supplements and a whole bunch of vitamins. He shared his nutritional research with me and started giving me energy supplements. My father didn't like that. He knew what I ate. He even knew when I would go to the bathroom. So when I started taking energy supplements, he saw that I had more energy on stage and that I was in better shape than I had been. It seemed obvious that Charlie's regimen were a good thing for me. But I believe my father started to think that I had a problem with those energy supplements, even though they were over the counter, not prescription. So he told me I had to get off them and sent me back to rehab. I don't know about you, but like I have nights where I don't sleep. Like last night I did not sleep. It was not good. I want to know what she was on. I want to know what over the counter supplements Britney Spears was taking that gave her the energy to do her Las Vegas residency, hours of dancing a night. Because I think we all need that. Producer sister, would you be interested to know? Exactly. Who here would like more energy? Anyone? Does anyone want more energy? Oh my gosh, are we getting rated? Oh my goodness. Okay. My thing is probably going to freeze for a minute because that has happened. Project Metal Music just said we're getting rated. which is very kind. Okay. Alrighty. So, chapter 36, Britney discusses her love of teaching dance to children and the solace it brought her during her time in Vegas. She reflects on the joy and trust that she had with the kids. Um, but sorry. And she was very frustrated because it just contrasted so much with the conservatorship. So she cared so much about the kids cared so much about her, but her father didn't care that much about her. She then mentioned in the courts, she did talk to the courts, and she told the judge about her dad's behavior, his erratic behavior, as well as his drinking. Um, and her case didn't go anywhere. They completely ignored her. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And that's why when she took the stand a couple of years ago, she said, I told you all of this before and you didn't listen to me. And that's why I'm standing here telling you again. Duh, right? And she was very, very frustrated. But during this time, her relationship with Charlie fell apart, and then she started working with Julia Michaels and Justin Tranter, and they started to write Glory. And she said Glory gave her a lot of pride and confidence back, which she very much needed. And briefly discussed her relationship with Sam Asghari. Said that there were rumors of him cheating on her almost immediately after they started dating, and her father sent her back to rehab again over the energy supplements. I want to know what these are so badly. I need someone to tell me. Tell me what these are. She found solace and inspiration from the women she met in AA, but felt limited because of her strict schedule and lack of choice in her meetings. Lastly, she mentions feeling controlled by her father and reflects on the unfairness of her situation despite her hard work and success. Brittany reflects then in the next chapter about her experience as a performer, discussing the importance of her hair to the audience's enjoyment, which I thought was kind of funny. And then says that during the promotion of Glory, she regained more confidence, started to appreciate performing again. And despite the challenges, surveillance, and her suffocating circumstances, she remained determined to regain her freedom and to pursue her artistic career. So she got her fire back, which we love to see. Oh, sorry, I don't need to do that yet. Brittany then, in chapter 38, expressed feelings of strength and empowerment during her third year in Las Vegas. She no longer wanted to be controlled by the conservatorship. So her parents had convinced her at this point that she was bad, that she was crazy, and she resented not being able to enjoy herself while her family just partied and had a great time. Spears really looks up to Reese Witherspoon as a role model for wielding power in a positive way, and she started to try to take some strength from that. She started to assert herself and demand respect, refusing to be tricked into feeling bad and for saying no. And she became frustrated with some of the lack of creative control in Vegas and the monotony of performing the same songs. She desired to give her fans a new, exciting experience. However, the requests for remixes and changes to her performances were constantly denied. So she wanted to keep making things fresh. She wanted to have fun. She wanted to enjoy it. And they just tried to like suck the joy out of everything that she wanted to do. Looking back on it, I totally see it. It absolutely was a method of trying to keep her in line, and it was really, really gross. And then she shared her experience at the Radio Disney Music Awards. And I love this because this is when Jamie Lynn performed her songs, and it was so cringy. And she's literally sitting there in the audience going like, because she's so angry. She doesn't know what to do with herself. So this quote was, and sitting there to receive the Icon Award at the Radio Disney Music Awards, even while I was honored by the performances, I was furious. Here were three singers and my sister doing new arrangements, something I had begged for 13 years, having fun with my songs in a way I hadn't in hundreds of performances, and I was sitting there having to smile. It was so awkward. It was so awkward. I remember when that happened. It was so, so, so awkward. Ugh. Anyway, we move on to chapter 39. This is our second last chapter here. Brittany says that while performing in Vegas, she felt trapped in a repetitive cycle, longing for vacations with her children, which were eventually sacrificed due to touring commitments. Despite expressing her desire for a break, the team coerces her into continuing with the tour by threatening legal action. Britney realizes that her creative freedom is restrained and her desire to make changes to her show is denied in order to maintain her dependency on her father as conservator. And when she finally returns home, she is devastated by the limited time she has to spend with her dogs and her children and being forced back to work. The tour experience leaves her feeling frustrated and trapped, comparable to being told that the weekend would never come. And the last chapter that we went over was chapter 40, which is where Britney tells everybody in this chapter about what really happened at Park MGM, the announcement of her new residency that was supposed to happen. So she said the lights went down. Mario Lopez, who was there to host the event, said into the mic, "We're here to welcome the new queen of Vegas." Dramatic music started, a riff from Toxic. Crazy lights flashed on the Park MGM, so it looked like the building was pulsing. Cue a medley of other songs and projections of a rocket ship, a helicopter, a circus big top, a snake in the Garden of Eden. Fire blasted up from the fire pits around the stage, and I rose up from the floor on a hydraulic lift, waving and smiling in a tight little black dress with star cutouts and tassels, and my hair super long and blonde. "Ladies and gentlemen," Mario Lopez continued, "Britney Spears!" And I walked down the stairs in my high heels to work, signed a few autographs for fans, but then I did something unexpected. I walked past the cameras. I kept walking till I got to the SUV and left. I said nothing. I did not perform. And if you were watching, you were probably wondering, what just happened? What just happened? What you didn't see was that my father and his team were trying to force me to announce the show. And I said I didn't want to announce because, as I had been saying for months, I didn't want to do it. When I sang the song Overprotected so many years earlier, I had no idea what overprotection was. I learned very soon because once I made it clear that I wasn't going to keep doing Vegas, my family made me disappear. And that's the end of chapter 40. And then we move into the last bit of the book. So the next stream we do, we're going to be going over chapters 41 to 49. And then that will be the end of the Britney Book Club series because we've done the whole book. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I hope that answers any questions. Let me know if you have any questions about those chapters. I'll see if I can answer them for you. And we are officially in our halftime. There we go. We're in halftime. Oh my goodness, and Popcorn Palace is coming. Hello. Hi, Steph. Hi, Andy. Thank you for thinking of me. That's very kind of you. I hope you guys had a great stream. They just had an incredible exclusive at the Tampa courthouse in Florida regarding a defamation case, I believe, from Samantha Markle. So really, really exciting. I am going to stop our poll now. Interesting that you guys, 95% of you are like, I'm not accepting that apology. I am not accepting that apology. Oh my goodness. Do not blame at all. Well, Space Angels, I have to say, for anybody that's coming in, can we please extend a warm welcome to the people who are coming over from Popcorn Palace? Hello, Popcorn Palace, as I'm sure you all are coming through. So nice to see you. Thank you for coming here. It is lovely to meet you. If you do not know me, I am ItsKim. Hi. I know Steph and Andy from Popcorn Planet. We did a lot of stuff together through the Johnny Depp trial and, still my Popcorn Planet family and love them very much. So happy to see you're all here. We talk a lot about pop culture stuff and then we also just have fun. And you guys have come in to the portion of our stream that is just fun. We just have a great time. So I'm so happy to see you all. Oh, I know Brandon. Brandon just said, I'm a first-time viewer. Much love to you, Brandon. Much love to you. I'm so happy to see everybody. So this is actually just the part of the show where you usually just hang out and talk, but I think that's going to be a little bit harder because I'm seeing that number climb and I'm not used to having that many people here. So yeah. But if you don't mind, everybody who's coming in, welcome. Please let me know, where are you watching from? Are you drinking anything? Because I have a lot of Coca-Cola to keep my throat going because I read a lot. And I would love to know where you guys are from, what you're drinking, you having a good day. Happy to have you here. Please consider liking the stream. Please consider subscribing. I stream fairly often. We have a good time. I think my Space Angels can attest that this is a fun place to be. We love having new people. We are so happy you're here. Okay, So, one of the things we do, yeah, Rando, lol, it's my first time here too. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Um, okay, so on my streams, we always have a section called What the What. And What the What is just where we look at funny stuff. We look at things from around the internet that are entertaining. We have a great time. We just enjoy ourselves, have fun. Sometimes we look at Reddit posts. Sometimes we look at funny pictures. Sometimes we look at funny Amazon reviews. Or all over the place, but they are all provided by my partner in crime, my invisible space angel, head of the Space Angels, my producer sister, who is on the other side of my monitors, who goes ahead and finds this content for us. So I react to it for the first time alongside you. We react together. It's a good time. I do want to say thank you so much to General Scott for the super sticker you have sent over. Thank you very much, Scott. Always for your support, sir. Very much appreciate it. And we have two What the Whats today. We have one that producer sister has shared called You Demanded My Entire Team Be at the Office for the 4th of July. Fine. You're paying for the office party. And then we have an update to the Dan Saga. Now, I think I'm going to save the update to the Dan Saga for last because I have to explain what the heck happened with Dan, right? Because I know we have some new people in here and I want to make sure that you guys understand the joke. So we are going to do the other one first, and then we will move on to the Dan update if that is cool with everyone. And I love everybody already going, do it for Dan. Do it for Dan. We got to do it for Dan. But I have no idea what's in this update. So I hope it's not a nothing burger, but I have no idea what's coming. All right. Also, Katie Artist 94, thank you so much for gifting memberships. 5 memberships. That is so kind of you. I believe that brings up our memberships to a gifted of 10 memberships today. Will we get more? Will more of us become members? I would love to see. I would love to see. All right. So here is the first story. So let's read it. So this happened. It was posted originally on July 6th of 2022. So this starts on a Monday the 13th. As I receive an email from the VP, not over my department, from a VP not over my department or a bad VP. I am told that my team will be required on the 4th of July. I politely tell them that no, our team has been scheduled for this day off and people already have plans. My team is the IT team. Oh, they're the IT crowd. Yes. Have you tried turning it off and on again? I politely tell them, as many of you know, the IT team gets shafted every time you can get shafted by any company. So over the course of the week, I let my team know what is happening. I let them know I have been reaching out to the higher ups to fix it. I also tell them that that if their plans are ruined, I will make it right at work. Over the course of 3 meetings, it starts to look like things will not go my way. In response, I send an email to the CEO of the company. All of the higher ups know what I was going to do, that I was going to do this, and said that I should do this as he's very familiar with the that he's very family oriented and that he would not allow anyone to work on a national holiday. Okay. Well, he's on vacation in the Bahamas until the 6th, but his assistant informed me that he would look at this after he gets back. Repeatedly slams head into desk. So I tell everyone it will be work from home and that we will be setting my cell phone as priority in the call routing, meaning I would get most of the calls. To be honest, I was expecting almost 0 calls, especially since I was asked to set a notification that IT support would cover the 4th of July. I never sent that email out. They just didn't know. One day later, I was given another outrage. I was told in an email that my employees would be required to be at the office and no one was allowed to work from home. Why? They would be checking the badge-ins to verify that we were at the office. I asked why in an email, and they said that they wanted to make sure no one was playing video games at work. We normally work from home about 2/3 of the week, and video game playing is a normal occurrence at work. So I walked into this person's office. After a very long conversation where she was losing the logic war with me, She told me that it's just IT. You guys don't have lives. What? Have you ever had a boss tell you that you have to come into work because you have no life? Who does that? Ew. Ew. Has anyone ever had that? Anyone? Because that's gross to me. Sorry. Sorry. No, I'm not kidding you. This is exactly what they told me. I reported this to my VP, who said, I will take care of this. It likely won't be until after the 4th, so get creative. I know this man well. We've worked together for a long time, and get creative is corporate code for effery. Yes, it is. Yes. Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Let's go. I asked the person requiring us to be at the office if they cared if we had an office party. They said no, as long as it didn't interfere with the call flow, even suggesting using my new company card to pay for it. Go wild. Pro tip: never tell me to go wild. Oh my gosh. I love when people just get like the keys to the kingdom and they just go, oh yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Wake up and chose chaos. At this point, it was Tuesday the 21st. I let everyone know what was up, but that I have something planned. I asked who had things planned for that day. 2 people told me that they were planning to shoot off fireworks with their family, but the rest were planning barbecues with friends. I write up an email to the VP over my department and the bad VP, and I tell them all that I let everyone know we were expected to work until 8 p.m. Monday. Per the conversation with the bad VP, I will be having an office party as sort of a sorry to the guys and gals who got shafted by this decision. The bad VP replied again, thank you for your understanding. Also, yes, I would expect an office party if I had to work for the 4th of July as well. So go wild and enjoy your time. Oh, that was a bad move, bro. That was a bad move. Why did you do this? Use your new company credit card if you need to cover a few expenses. Also, I should not have to remind you or anyone else, no fireworks or alcohol on company property. So now is the time to tell you about my office. See, a while back, the IT team was moved from the main corporate office and into the smaller building by itself. A nice gaming break room, a decent-sized gym, and a full-on drink bar. Soft drinks, mind you. No alcohol at work. Out back is a big patio that crosses lines as soon as you cross a small creek. A creek that just so happens to have a footbridge over it, leading to an empty field. I start making phone calls. I call everyone in an hour early that morning. I explained to them that I will be making it all right. I asked everyone to invite their friends and family to the office. No supplies will be needed to be brought by anyone. I tell them all that this will be non-alcoholic, but that I will be planning something for everyone. I told them to expect all food to be provided. They didn't need to bring anything unless they wanted to bring fireworks, i.e., they won't have to spend a dime. The 4th comes, and the entire day we did absolutely no work. Yes, no tickets, no calls came in. Well, 7 calls came in, but from the same person, the bad VP. She was calling to make sure we were all manning the phones. All of us were playing video games or watching movies. 6 p.m. rolls around, and everyone was told the food was ready. People were expecting hot dogs, hamburgers, maybe a bratwurst or 2, but what they got was a full-on barbecue feast with pizza and other foods. I love this, man. There was a smoked brisket, spare ribs, smoked sausage, smoked turkey, both kinds of tater salad, coleslaw, green beans with bacon and onion, potatoes, pizza, excellent hamburgers, bratwurst hot dogs. On the dessert side, there was cake, very good cookies, 4 kinds of pies, and 2 pounds of fudge. Oh my gosh. I want to go to this party. Yeah. I want to go to this party. Can we go to this party? Families and friends started showing up at around 6 to 6:15ish. Some brought alcohol, but I told them they would need to leave that in their cars and that I was not that crazy. See, there was some restraint. Some were not too happy about that, but agreed that it was a free dinner for random strangers. So let me set the scene for you. I'm out there with all the calls routed to my cell phone, and everyone is having a good time. We have a ton of people there just enjoying the fun night, chatting about random stuff, eating the food, and occasionally lighting off some sparklers or throwing firecrackers into the stream. It's not stocked and only 1 foot deep. My VP, not the bad VP, mind you, showed up with his family and brought some water balloons for the kids and man children. Around 8:30ish, it's getting dark, and people want to shoot off more than simple sparklers and firecrackers we'd been using. The VP over at the IT department had everyone cross the footbridge over the county line and off company property, mind you, and we set up the big wooden board using it as our launch pad. We fired off what we had for an hour or two, and some just hang out for a little while. At around the time people were tired and ready to head home, I told people to take home leftovers within reason. We all clocked out at 8 and no one left until about 10:30. The bad VP did call once more when we were out back at the party. It was 7:50 and she called asking for a status update. My exact words were, "Well, you were the only one to call us today. The rest of us are on the back patio enjoying the 4th of July shindig." She simply acted like my boss and said, "As long as there was no alcohol or fireworks that are on company property, I do not care." Then we shouldn't have any issues, should we? The story should end there, right?
It should.
It should. It's not going to. We ate roughly half the food catered, the rest was taken home. A small group volunteered to stay behind and clean up, including my VP. We had a funny conversation about how this will make waves with the bosses, but he said he had my back and asked me how much this cost. I gave him a sideways look, which made him laugh. Tuesday morning, I submitted the expense to my VP. This email would inevitably make its way over to the bad VP and up the chain to the CIO of the company. It would be a bad idea to give out the exact cost of the party, mind you, but I can tell you that because of this 4th of July party, new rules were put into place. Any expenses over 4K must be approved by the direct supervisor, VP over the department, and the full expense report must be sent to the financial department for review after the fact. Hint, the party cost over 6K. I wish I was at this party. It sounds like a lot of fun. The barbecue was the most expensive part. I did not order from a low or mid-tier place. The place I ordered from has consistently been in the top 10 of the DFW listing for the past 30 years. I ate at that place so much I made friends with the owner. The best barbecue I have ever had. The cakes, pies were custom made by a bakery, and the cookies were made by a boutique cookie place. We had 10, 12 packs of Coke, Coke Zero, Dr. Pepper Zero, Pepsi, and Pepsi Zero. I bought 5 pepperoni, 5 sausage, 5 cheese, 2 Hawaiian, and 3 cheeseburger pizzas from one place, and nearly the same number from another place. Excluding the cheeseburger ones, I subbed out those for a different specialty pizza from another place. The burgers were all from an excellent burger place that did catering. I know that owner well. He brought his kids for the night of fun after he heard what was going to be happening. He was also the one who brought the brat dogs, as he recently added those to his menu. I really, really want to be at this party. How do I get to be at this party? My gosh. All right. This was the most expensive office party in the history of the company. The only things more expensive than this were some business meetings that the CEO rented private rooms and high-end restaurants for. As for the CEO, he was outraged. Not at the cost of the party, mind you. He knew that the party would not have been necessary if people had been allowed to go home. He was outraged that IT was the only group required to work on that day. When I submitted the logs showing how we received no real phone calls, no service requests, and that we basically watched movies and played video games during our shift, he'd heard enough. He apparently sent out a scathing email about work-life balance and the importance of our holidays to every upper-level management. I mean, I love that. I love that. It sounds like you actually don't have a garbage CEO, which is kind of a rarity. So I'm very happy for you guys. It was kind of funny as people wanted me to get in trouble for what I did. But the reality is other departments have done similar things in the past, just not on the scale that IT did. The bad VP was, I don't know that word, admonished quite effectively and sent me an apology email. I forwarded it to the team with a strong hint not to reply. Then my VP let the CIO and the CEO know about what the bad VP said. You guys don't have lives. The bad VP did actually confirm she said it in the meeting with her EVP. It did not go over well. I have never heard people yelling in an office meeting like that before. The CEO of the company came into our office and yelled at her. I love this. I love this. Not sure if she was fired, but she is not at work today. An Active Directory, she does not have, sorry, in Active Directory, she does not have the down arrow of death, so not 100% sure what's happened to her. I know she lost whatever clout she had at this company with her attitude. If anything more happens, I will update. But so far, it looks like the fallout from this is I caused a new rule to be put in place about how much you're allowed to spend at one time. The bad VP may or may not be let go / forced to resign. I know she got yelled at. Strangely, there is now no longer pushback for my bid to get everyone working from home. Edit. Please stop asking me where the restaurants were. I'm not doxing myself. There we go. And that's the story. That is so cool. That is so cool. I'm actually kind of in awe of this person. That was amazing. Corporate effery. Yeah. 100%. Amazing. Amazing. I approve of this 100,000,000%. Oh my gosh. You know what? I have to say, I don't miss corporate. I do not miss the corporate world. There were good things about it. There were other things about it. But that would have been fun. That would have been fun. Okay, everyone. Thank you to those of you who've decided to stay here from Popcorn Palace. It's nice to have you. I'm going to let you all know, I'm going to let you all in on a little family joke we have here in the Space Angels community. One of the things that we love to do, like you just saw, is read Reddit stories. And there is one Reddit story that we've been reading over the past number of weeks. There have been multiple updates. And this is the most insane thing I've probably ever heard. There is drama. This story has everything. It's like the Stefan thing from SNL. Like, this has everything. And we got an update. Now, before we can do the update, everyone, we have to let everybody in on the joke. Okay? Because I don't do that. I like to make sure that everybody understands what we're laughing about, because that's the right thing to do. So, this story is written by who we're going to call Original Poster, or OP. OP is a single man in his early 30s and told us that he had a very difficult family life and has for a long time, especially with his brother, Dan, and his sister-in-law. Sister-in-law often tries to provoke Original Poster, and his parents and his brother adore her despite knowing that she is a piece of work. So basically, we have the golden child of Dan, and I have to tell you, through this whole thing, the parents keep saying, you got to do it for Dan. You got to help Dan. You got to do it for Dan. I don't know what is so amazing about Dan. We have all been wondering what is just so magical about Dan. We do not have an answer. Space Angels, does anyone here have an answer on why Dan is amazing? Because at this point, do it for Dan has become like a joke within this community. And most people, when you say do it for Dan, there is a response of F you, Dan. Nobody likes Dan, okay? The original poster also revealed that his parents favored Dan. He was the golden child, resulting in unfair treatment towards him during their upbringing. And when OP turned 18, he moved out of the house and maintained very low contact with his family, only seeing them on holidays. Now, when 2020 rolled around, it wasn't great for him. He lost his job. He wasn't able to renew his lease on his condo. Sorry, the chaos. I'm just going to put that up there. That's the energy. Okay. So he couldn't afford a place to live. He lost his job. So he bought a $1,000 camper and put it on his truck. And he initially asked his parents if he could park his truck and his camper in their driveway so he could have somewhere safe to live, but they refused. They wanted him to pay rent, more rent than what he would have paid in a normal apartment to park on their driveway. But here's the thing. Dan and his whole family, his wife and their 3 children at that point, I'll live with the parrots for free. So OP, on the verge of homelessness, is abandoned by his family, and they will not let him stay on their driveway because their camper is an eyesore. Okay? So this is what we're dealing with. The family is garbage. Family is garbage. We do not like these people. So, feeling abandoned, OP parked his car or parked his camper in a store parking lot for the first night, fearing for his safety. He struggled to find a safe place and finally found a job of his own and got a relationship with the boss that said, yeah, sorry, you guys are killing me in the chat. Bring in the Dan dollars. Dan is not the man. If you want to send in Dan dollars, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no. I'd rather see Dan memberships. Dan memberships, but if you guys want to do that, you're welcome to do that. Have fun with it. Um, so what OP ended up doing was the boss took pity on him and was like, okay, we got a big parking lot. You can go park at the back of the parking lot. That's totally fine. I don't care. If you can give us a little bit for rent every month just to cover utilities because you're going to be plugged into our building, that's totally fine. And we'll give you as many hours as you're willing to take, basically. So he was then able to use the bathrooms, showering, relieving himself. In the winter, he used a small electric heater to keep warm, while in the summer, he bought a used portable air conditioner to combat the heat. So all this time, OP is fighting. OP has had so many struggles, and he just gets up every day, pulls himself up, works so hard, and OP saves enough money to buy himself a house. Okay, so we are all like as space angels. We're all going like, this is amazing. Go OP. This is awesome. We're rooting for you. Yay. The family then confronts OP and goes, you know what? Mom and dad's house, like grandma and grandpa, the parents of OP and Dan, they're running out of space because sister-in-law, the piece of work, wants the house to herself because she's the mom. She's the mom. So she's the most important person because she's the mom. And she's also pregnant again. So they're having their fourth kid and they don't have space for these kids. So what the parents decide to do is go, okay, why don't OP, our son that we don't care about that much, how about you keep living in your camper and Dan and sister-in-law and the kids move into your house for free. So you're going to keep paying for the mortgage. You're going to keep paying all of the utilities, everything, and live in your camper on your property since you've been homeless for so long. And then Dan can finally get his house because he's a family man and he deserves it. Do it for Dan. Do it for Dan. Let Dan take your house. Like, I cannot tell you the way that this community, we were screaming. We were absolutely screaming. This was the most bonkers thing we had ever heard in our lives. We were done. But OP stuck up for himself and said, how about F no? And you can F all the way off with that and get out of my face. They leave the house. Next thing you know, mom and dad, Dan and sister-in-law, and all the kids pull up to his house with a moving truck. They knock out the handles of the front door to get in the house and start moving them all in. Literally tried to steal his house. So OP comes home, sees this happening, goes, no, you guys need to leave. I told you no. Get out. This is my property. You do not own this property. I own this property. Leave. Get out. Get out. Seriously. This is why I don't care about you guys. And he's been filming all of these fights as well. He's been like recording them. So he has proof that they've been happening. So he finally just decides, I'm going to call the cops. Enough is enough. I'm calling the cops. So the cops show up. And sister-in-law gets this like really horrible like smile on her face and comes out of the house with the police and just goes, well, We have a rental agreement. They forged a rental agreement. I cannot. Like, we are, again, screaming, absolutely screaming, absolutely screaming. Yep. Yeah, exactly, Nikki. Call the police. F you, Dan. Exactly. F you, Dan. No, we're not doing it for Dan. I don't know what Dan did to make him so magical, but we're not here for it and we're not having it. Ugh. Yeah. So, police then are talking to everyone. OP then goes, okay, here's the deal. This is my house. Here's my driver's license. I own this house. You can check their licenses. They do not own this house. They don't live here. They asked to live here. I have this recording where I told them to get out of my house and they cannot have my house. And then apparently there was actually like the drill that they used to knock out the lock on the door on the porch. So the cops see like that they forcibly entered the premises. Then they take a look at the signature that's on the rental agreement that they forged for OP, compared it to his, knew that it wasn't. And then OP takes this opportunity with the cops standing there with his parents to chew his parents out. He roasted them, he dragged them to filth. And it was such a moment where it was like OP finally got to stick up for himself. And the cops were just absolutely beside themselves and were like, do you want to file charges? Like, no. So everybody leaves, everybody's gone. OP keeps his house. The rest of OP's family finds out. So uncles, aunts, cousins, grandparents, everybody. And they are all absolutely disgusted. And prior to this, some of those members of the family had called him and basically were like, why don't you let Dan have your house? Do it for Dan. You got to do it for Dan. He's a family man. He's a family man and he deserves it more than you. I'm not kidding. Literally, that's like a thing. I cannot even. So basically, the whole family finds out now that, you know, mom, dad, and Dan and sister-in-law tried to steal OP's house after he was homeless. And they all go, yeah, we're done with them. We're done with them. They can leave. They're not a part of our family anymore. Okay, bye. And they decide they're going to have Christmas without them. So Christmas time, OP opens his home and they all have Christmas there together. His family that actually loves him. And guess who randomly shows up on Christmas Eve? Sister-in-law, Dan, the 4 kids, and the mom and the dad. And what do? They start going at it again. Why don't you let Dan have the house? You ruined everything. You don't need this house. Blah, 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 blah. And the whole family basically has an intervention with these people and tears a strip off their back and tells them to get out. And they all get kicked out. It's bad. It's a mess. After the holidays. Okay, so like this is what I mean. Like this story has gone on forever and ever and ever. And I'm not giving all the details, I promise you. OP's then contacted again by his parents who asked to have dinner with him at Olive Garden. Fantastic. So they sit down at Olive Garden. He's with his parents. Dan shows up. Fantastic. And they ask him again to pay for Dan to get his own place or to co-sign. So he would still be liable if Dan did not pay. To which OP explains to his family, believe it or not, he's not made of money. And he will not risk his financial future for Dan because he knows he's not going to pay. And he said, and basically, like, if you want to help him so much, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you paying for the place? Come on. Like, why are you laying this on me? This is ridiculous. This is stupid. And they know they can't afford it. So whatever, blah, 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 blah. They also were mad because OP started renting out some of the rooms in his house to friends at a very reasonable rate to give them a break, and also just to help him to be able to afford the property more comfortably and to be able to save money because he basically has no savings after buying this house. The family then also found out about this post on Reddit and they're pissed. They're really, really pissed, but nobody cares because that's life. Then we got the last update. Dan. Do it for Dan. Perfect Dan. The most amazing family man, Dan. Finds out that his wife cheated on him. And their new baby, that 4th one, isn't his. All hell breaks loose. It just gets absolutely bananas. Dan's family kicks out sister-in-law. Sister-in-law then shows up at OP's house and has a confrontation. This leaves OP finally going to the police and filing a report for harassment as well as assault. He then gives all of his records to Dan to fight her in divorce. They divorce. It's proven that the child is not Dan's. Dan is able to sue to get his name off of the birth certificate because sister-in-law wanted to keep him on there so that he paid for the child, and he was like, no. And Dan and OP started to repair their relationship. And Dan is actually now living in the camper so that the kids have more space in his mom and dad's house. Sorry? Yeah, so the oldest has his own room. And sister-in-law has gone off with the guy that she had the baby with. He's a piece of work too. It was just a mess. So that is what you missed. Did I forget anything, guys? Did I cover everything that was important? But yes, this is why. Sorry, I was just gonna say. I feel like I'm having a Pepe Silva moment. Like, yeah. It was wild. It was wild. It was crazy. It was a lot. I don't even know where to begin. I do want to say quickly. Holy smokes. So Shauna gifted 10 memberships, so that brings us to 20. Thank you so much, Shauna. As always, you are such a huge supporter of my channel, and I very much appreciate you. It's always very humbling. Thank you. Then Shauna also has been a member for 11 months. Sorry, so late. Had to be back for the Dan update. You had to do it for Dan. Oh my gosh. Kel Bear has been a member for 3 months. Always love your streams, Kim. Always love to see you. Thank you very much for being a member. I very much appreciate your support. Yes, and then the F you, Dan, from the Chaos Street. Thank you. Thank you for the Dan bucks. Kyle GT has been a member for 4 months. F Dan! Rando from Iowa, member for 3 months. Dan is not the man. Carbonized Stardust, who's been a member for 2 months. Bring on the Dan dollars! Thank you guys so much. Rando and like all you guys, like Kyle and Rando and Carbonize. I've seen you guys so much, and I really do appreciate your support. Love you guys. And Jackie Swan gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much. So that means we have gone up to 21 members today. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So happy to see you all here. Okay, so here we go. Now, the update. You guys ready? I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready. Okay. It's titled, Ex-sister-in-law saw my posts and is mad. She can't do anything about them. I bet she is. I bet she is. So this was October 24th, 2023. So this is current, guys, okay? This is very, very current. This is happening. No surprise, ex-sister-in-law saw my Reddit posts. She can't contact me about them in any way, though. But with a lawyer, thanks to my restraining order against her. And she likely can't afford to get a lawyer right now anyway, since the divorce financially drained her too. So she's complaining to Dan about it and demanded he tell me to delete my Reddit account. Not only has Dan read my recent posts, he no longer cares. He said they serve as a reminder of the he used to be. Fantastic. You know what, Dan? I love this for you. I love this for you. Dan, you really didn't have much lower to go. So, I mean, it's all just up from here. Good for you, Dan. Good for you. Do it for, you know what, Dan? Do it for Dan. Do it for yourself. Be a better person. Try not to be a piece of crap. And he's not losing sleep about it. Besides, I've still helped him out despite all he's done to me. So he's not going to be upset about it. I mean, that's true. Like, he's pretty much living in your camper right now because of his life choices. So that'd be kind of funny. My parents have also made sure to try and treat Dan and I more equally when I'm around too. Oh, good. Therapy is working. The family started going to therapy. My father is still a man of few words around me, though. Someone pointed out that changing now after so long of treating me as the opposite of Dan means he doesn't know how to connect with me anymore, and I think they're right. I don't mind the way he is now, though. My mother has also developed a habit of saying she's sorry about every little thing in my presence. Good. Dan told me that she and my father have been reamed a lot by extended family and their counselor. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. And now my mother feels like she needs to apologize for everything. This is all a stark contrast to how they used to treat me. And you know what? You wouldn't have got there if you hadn't stuck up for yourself. Could not be prouder of OP. Also, I didn't want to talk before about what ex-sister-in-law's opinion was on Dan borrowing my camper so his son could have his and his ex-sister-in-law's old bedroom. Well, like a stereotypical bully, she looked down on him and mocked him about it because now he's living like a bum, which they called him, and as she put it. But Dan took it all in stride and asked if she was done yet because he knew this was exactly how she'd react. And he plain doesn't care anymore. She's borderline dead to him. And her insults were on deaf ears. Then he pointed out to her that he was living out of the camper because he was putting his kids ahead of himself so his son could have his own room, something his ex never did, despite being their mother. She just weaponized her children and pregnancy to keep from working and to emotionally blackmail everyone. Then he asked her to remind him how that was working out for her. Mind you, this was early on in the divorce. I'm sure you can all guess her reaction. Dan said his ex did have quite the tantrum about my recent posts, but no one has bothered to contact me on her behalf to take them down. So she just has to live with the well-deserved shame. 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 She's been trying to act nicer to Dan lately. Oh, good luck. Guess the grass isn't so green living with her parents. Dan tolerates her as the mother of his children whenever they meet, but nothing more. He will never take her back. Good for you, Dan. Do it for Dan. She's told me that he can never look at her like he used to. And the very thought of her turns him off emotionally. So ex-sister-in-law pretty much has no chance of reconciliation. Awesome. I have no new information on ex-sister-in-law's affair partner. His social media is still locked down. Same with ex-sister-in-laws, and it's likely to remain that way as long as I have the chance of reading them. All right. So things seem okay then. We seem like, people are growing, people are maturing, right?
Yes, certain people.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'm still mad at you, Dan. I'm still mad at you, Dan, but I am happy that you are growing. I'm happy that you were growing as a person. Oh my gosh. This is an update that he titled, "My Truck Got Egged on Halloween." Important note I did not bring out before. OP loves his truck. He didn't need a truck when he got it, from the sounds of it, but he just really had a dream of having a truck. And then that truck was what was enabled him to be able to have the camper to survive. So egging his truck is personal. I can tell you that right now. That's oof. So this was posted on November 5th.
3 days ago.
3 days ago, guys. 3 days. He said, happened in the middle of the night / very early morning on the 1st. I suspect it was my ex-sister-in-law, but the person my cameras recorded was wearing layers of heavy sweats and had their face wrapped up along with big glasses covering the eyes. You couldn't really tell if they were a man or a woman. They came on foot too, so no identifying the car. They did look about ex-sister-in-law's height though, but that's not much in the way of evidence on its own. If it was ex-sister-in-law, she knew about my cameras. So covering her face and body for petty, eggy revenge was probably the smartest thing she's done in years. She used her brain. That's amazing. It's amazing. Way to finally put her college degree to use by egging a beat-up old pickup truck. Yeah. This woman is so petty. I just can't. She's just a joke. Absolute joke. The egger showed up around 3 o'clock a.m. I was deep asleep. I didn't hear anything. Whoever it was that appeared that night quickly threw a dozen eggs or so all over my truck. They didn't attempt to do any more damage, at least, and they were gone in a flash as soon as the last egg was thrown. I didn't see the mess till I was leaving for work in the morning. I ran my truck through a local car wash during my lunch break, and that took most of the egg off. I had to scrub it a bit more later after work. Egg isn't really good for the paint, but the truck is from the 90s, so it doesn't exactly look mint anyway. I did take photos and filed a police report with the CCTV footage as evidence. So far, nothing has come of it. There was no real damage other than the minor irritation and the $15 at the car wash. If ex-sister-in-law did do this, then she was smart enough to only throw eggs and not key or paint or slash my tires. So, my insurance wouldn't be involved. I don't think much will come of the police report as the cops seem to dismiss it was probably a prank by a teenager. I get that they were probably overworked, but at least the report will keep a paper trail in case of future incidents. I waited till now to post because I wondered if anything else would happen, but no, just right back to peace and quiet. I would appreciate any good advice on the matter, though, just in case something like this happens again.
She's not letting us go.
She's not letting it go.
Mm-mm.
She is not letting it go. I can't. Like, you'd think this woman would stop. I know there's two sides to every story, but like she's not a good person. She is not a good person, and I think she did it. I think she did it. Poll. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. Okay, do you think ex sister-in-law egged OP's truck? If I can type. Yes or no? Let me know. Let me know. I feel like it's kind of like the beginning of the I love Lindsay P going, she definitely did it. Jackie Swan, this woman's crazy dangerous. Yep. Oh my goodness. And that's the thing. And Ray just said there's no hard evidence though, and that's part of the problem, but that's really, really frustrating. Yeah, producer sister just said people in the thread suggested to ask neighbors to check their cameras. And you know what? I think actually this might be a good time to like call your neighbors, talk to your neighbors, and just be like, just so you know, my brother has this psycho ex-wife. And she's tried to steal my house. She tried to trap my brother into paying child support for a kid that wasn't his. And I have like restraining order, all those types of things against her. And I think she might have attacked my car. Even offer like to get them cameras and just say, would you mind, like, if something happens, like, can you give me that information? Like, I don't need to see the rest of the time, but just like help me to be able to catch this woman because she's crazy. She is literally crazy. And in a like, and I don't mean that in like a mean way. Like, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with her. And I'm honestly at a point I'm getting a little bit concerned about her, but I feel like her motives are so dark and so negative. I don't have a huge amount of empathy for her, if that makes any sense. You guys get what I mean? Yeah, and producer sister's right. Like, yeah, kids on Halloween wouldn't be covered from head to toe like this person was. Oh. Yeah. Ange said, who else had motive? Yep. Katie Artist 94. She definitely did it. Yeah. Diva, he should get a car alarm and some cameras. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Oh. Yeah, Shantae. Hello, Shantae. I don't recognize your name, so I don't know if I've seen you before. Welcome. She's definitely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yep. But Uranus Rena's right. Yeah, she needs help. She needs what? She needs help. And Shaz said, yeah, a good way to get to know his neighbors. So that would help. Exactly. And it's like, I think the thing is, if they know that you're taking steps because you don't want this person around, and there's the possibility that this person is going to go on their property, like they need to know. They need to know. And I think most people have dealt with some really vindictive people in their life, and they know exactly what that feels like, and they just like they don't want that energy, right? Yeah. Lulu's mom, she sounds vindictive, and if she's just dwelling on this, oh boy. Yep. 100%. Sage Warrior said ex sister-in-law is blaming OP for all of her problems. Narcs will fixate on someone like that to the point that it becomes like stalking. I've lived this, and it's like a form of revenge for them. Yeah. You know what? I think it actually makes them feel like they have control, because if they can do things to you that inconvenience you, they still have a hold on your life. That's my theory about it. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's always the way that I've kind of looked at it. I find a lot of these things, they go back to control. They all go back to control. Let me see here. King Bob. If it was kids, there would have been more than one. No one goes out by themselves. Oh, 100%. 100%. At 3 in the morning on Halloween? 3 in the morning? How about no? How about no? And sorry. No. I agree. Houston, for the next Halloween, he should ask the court for GPS tracker attached to her foot. I mean, I feel like if he catches her again doing something, that actually probably would be not a bad idea to request. Yeah. Shauna, definitely targeted. Sister-in-law's a nutter. I think she would do it. I do too. I have to look at this, though. We have 67 votes up in here, and we have a 99% of people saying that they think that the ex egged the truck. I think we're pretty united. I'm going to give you guys another minute to do the poll if you have not. Adjust. Oh my goodness. Yeah, producer sister and I have spoken briefly. I mean, I didn't know what had happened, but she had said to me, "I don't think this is the end." And I have to say, I don't think it is either. I don't know if he'll share it with us, but oh gosh, like it's concerning. It's concerning. Yeah, Randall from Iowa. I'm afraid you're right. Yeah. Oh, Shantae said, "Oh, you said my name right. I've lurked before. Good community, so I feel safe to express myself here." I'm glad. That's what I want. That's awesome. So glad that you're here, and I hope that you have fun. Oh my goodness. Sage said, "Yup, I was gonna say control too, but I ran out of characters." Yup. We know. We know. Danny Scales, yes. If it is kids at 3 a.m., it's at least 4 of them. 100%. Houston, ex-sister-in-law is voting. That's the one vote. Hi. Yeah, Nikki, looking forward to more updates. I'm happy to hear that. One of the things we do here is if we have a saga and we have a reaction to it that everybody like if we're invested and we want to know, right? Producer sister will very kindly keep an eye on that story and will let us know if there is an update of some kind. So just so you know, like when the updates come, we will bring them to you. We can't control when those updates come or if they come. But in the meantime, we look for other things that are entertaining, other things that are fun, other things that we can enjoy together. Because I know sometimes, like, the main topic of the day may not be something that's like super interesting to everybody, right? Like, it's the news, right? And again, similar to picking the stories, you don't get to decide what's going to be reported, right? And obviously I love Britney and I'm a very strong advocate for disability rights and things like that. So I am going to shine light on her story 100%. But I also like to cover a lot of other things. But I wanted to have something in the show that it doesn't matter, kind of like what you're interested in pop culture or whatever. I think we all like to laugh. I think we all want escapism. I think we all want to have fun and we all want to share our opinion. And I think that this is a great way to do that. So that's why part of why we have this section. And if I could just get some hearts up in the chat for the incredible producer sister for putting that together for us. It's a lot of work that she does, and I very, very much appreciate her. So a bit of love for her would be great. And I'm going to stop the poll here. 99% of you think ex-sister-in-law egged OP's truck. I would agree with you guys 100%. Oh my gosh.
Lindsay just said that there's an update for Thanksgiving this year.
Oh gosh. I'm trying to find the comment. There it is. Lindsay P said, I bet there's an update for Thanksgiving this year. We will have to see. We will have to see.
2 weeks away.
Yeah, 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
Oh gosh. Yeah, quite possibly. I do think I actually did miss a little bit of support. Thank you, Lindsay P, for being a member for a month. She said, I feel like OP would like it here. I think we'd love to have him here. We're rooting for you. We are rooting for you. For real. Like, seriously, tell me your Venmo or whatever. Like, I want to help you, man. Like, you deserve it. You're amazing. General Scott also gifted a membership. Thank you very, very much. Producer Sister, do you know what that brings our memberships to?
2?
22. Excellent. That's awesome. That is awesome. We are going to start winding down. So if you did want to send any support in today or get any memberships, now is the time to do so. And I would appreciate that if you would like to. I am just so happy to see you here. I will encourage you, please subscribe. Please like the stream. I very much appreciate that. And it helps me out a lot. The other thing I do ask you guys, if you're open to, would be when the stream ends, if you wouldn't mind reloading the page and leaving a comment, because that tells YouTube that there's more engagement with the video as opposed to it being a standalone video, as opposed to it being a stream. Helps out a lot. And I would very much appreciate that. General Scott did a super sticker of the farting heart doggy. Steph's heart is warm. Steph's heart is warm. Why are we laughing?
Medora.
Medora?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it.
After the Scott.
Medora art. OP, if you are here, my phone number is. Oh, are we getting into that? Are we going to be matchmakers for people of Reddit? Wow. I mean, that was not an angle that I thought we were going to be taking on this channel. But I mean, if it gives OP happiness, I'm here for it.
You can go talk to
Yeah.
him on Reddit.
You can go talk to him on Reddit. I will make sure the links to this are all in the doc at the end of the stream. So I kind of just want to have like lunch with the dude. Be like, tell me everything. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. Okay. Just double check. Oh, Shaz said, I don't normally comment, but I will definitely do that today, Kim. That is very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. I understand you guys have a lot of options. You have a lot of things you can watch. You literally have the world at your fingertips. So the fact that anybody chooses to be here is amazing. And it means a lot. It means a lot. Oh my gosh, Carbonized. Set up an interview, Kim. I think the whole point of this is that he wants to be anonymous. I have debated on starting a Reddit account and messaging people that we cover on the show and being like, just so you know, you have a little community of space angels that are totally on your side and you are amazing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I get nervous about doing that. I don't know why. I get really, really nervous. Like I know, like, I'm not a super shy person, but stuff like that, I get like so much social anxiety. You know what I mean? And I think that's the problem. I'm an extrovert with social anxiety. It doesn't make any sense to me either. Okay. It's just what it is. Oh, yeah. Medora art, your sense of humor is perfect. It's fine. There's nothing to be concerned about. Oh my goodness. Lindsay P, I wonder if he would come on here in the capacity of a podcast. I don't know. I don't know. Oh my gosh, Merle. Another inside joke we have in this community is Jacksonville. Merle, thank you for being a member of 3 months. We did a What the What where we talked about, like, basically it was like design fails and just fails in general. And there was an aerial shot of a city that looked like it was on a grid system, but there was this one section of it that was on an angle. And I shared that when I was growing up, we drove quite often, my family, through Florida. And every time we went through Jacksonville, it was just construction. It was just a mess. It was such a mess. And I was always like, what is happening with the city planning in this city? Because literally the construction has been absolute chaos and has been going on at this point like 20 years. What is happening in Jacksonville? So as soon as I saw that picture and I saw like, is that Jacksonville? And then there were a lot of jokes about people that know Jacksonville or know people from Jacksonville. It very much became like a, Florida man type thing. And so we kind of just joke now when we see things that are kind of messed up. We're like, it's got to be from Jacksonville. It's no hate to anybody that lives in Jacksonville. I'm sure if you live in Jacksonville, you probably know something of what I'm talking about how bad the construction was for there a bit there. I hope it's better for you, honestly, because it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. So everybody's just like going like, I think she is from Jacksonville, right? Yeah. 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 Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm just going to leave the chat open for a few minutes. If anybody has any questions, anything they want to ask, I will let you guys know right now. We do have one more part left of the Britney Book Club. I am planning currently on doing that Monday. The only reason I would do it Friday would be if there was news that dropped that I really want to cover in a timely manner. But we have a few things going on in family life on Friday that would mean that stream would be shorter. So I'm not planning on streaming on Friday unless something really important happens. And if it is going to happen, I mean, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. You can also follow me on Instagram. I do updates there if there's any changes in the schedule, but generally my streams are Monday, Wednesday. I would love to get to a point where I can do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And sometimes my body just can't handle it because I have a full-time job as well. So it's just a lot of work. So we are planning next stream to be Monday, unless something really big happens. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am anticipating, based on sources that I believe to be very credible, that as we talked about in the members only stream a couple weeks ago, Britney's father is very ill. Very, very ill. And I don't know what's going to be happening, but that is something, unfortunately. I hope he does recover, but I don't know if that is going to be the case. And I do plan on covering that when it happens. But to be fair, we'll deal with it as it goes. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. And we will be covering the last 9 chapters of the book. So, and then we're done. And then we've read the whole book together, which is awesome. That's awesome. All righty. Just looking through the chat here. You guys have been so much fun today. Thank you so much for being here. I've had a lot of fun this stream. It was really fun to be rated. Thank you very much to Steph and Andy again. I will send you guys a DM later, but thank you. Publicly, thank you. Carbonite Stardust said, is it bad that I do not wish Jamie well? I do not wish health on him and happiness, as I do not waste my wishes on evil people. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's a producer sister and I love the lyric from the Kelly Clarkson song, Never Again, which I very much used quite often dealing with my own trauma and the people who have hurt me and abused me. Is I don't wish bad things, but I don't wish you well. Because I can't harbor that hatred in me because it's poison. You know what I mean? But it's also like I don't want to see you thriving. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not, so happy for you. Like but I don't. That's just kind of the way that I feel about it. But I know Britney wants to have some form of amends made, and I hope she's able to get that for her own peace. And I think that's the thing. I want Britney to have peace above anything else. I care a lot more about Britney's peace than I do Jamie Spears' peace. Hope that makes sense. Shaz asks what cancer does he have? I don't believe it's actually cancer. He's had a lot of issues with his liver as well. He had a colon rupture a number of years ago, and he was recently back in rehab, I believe, for his alcoholism. And from what I have heard, and this I did not hear from an official source, this has just been reported, that he was not able to stay sober for very long. And I don't want to shame anyone for the disease of addiction. I completely get it. But when you're in really poor health and then it's being aggravated by other things, I don't think it's a far stretch. Like people know what's happening. You know what I mean? There's only so long you can go doing that. So it's really, really sad. It's really sad. Carmen Stardust said, yes, that's exactly how I feel. I don't hate him, but I don't wish him any wellness of any sort. I wish those things for Britney. Yeah. So totally, totally get it. Yeah. Sage said, when an abusive parent passes, the grief is different. I dealt with it recently. I'm so sorry. And I just want to say, Sage, like, I remember what you shared with us in the members only stream. And thank you very much for sharing that. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. My heart goes out to you. So I hope Britney has a good support around her. It's so much harder than grieving a good relationship. I do not doubt it. I do not doubt it. I think it's interesting. What's her name? Jeanette McCurdy, the actress that we know from Nickelodeon. She wrote a book, I believe this year, called "I'm Glad My Mom Died," and that whole process for her of grieving such a dysfunctional relationship with her mother, and I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish it on anybody. It's awful, but I am proud of her in that. I know there's some people that really do not like the title of that book, but I think the thing is you've got to understand where she's coming from, and I think there's a lot of people that have really complicated family dynamics, really painful family dynamics, and for so long there's very much been this dialogue of like, well, they're your family, so you have to accept it. You have to accept the mistreatment. And for those of you that don't know, I have a disorder called CPTSD, or complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And a lot of people that have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, I am not one of them, but a lot of them have the disorder from repetitive, constant trauma, a lot of the times at the hands of a family member. So they are abused for years by these people. It changes their brain development. It gives them incredibly incredibly difficult mental health issues they have to get over, as well as physical side effects, and so much pain, physical and emotional, spiritual, on every level. It's horrible. It's an awful, awful, awful disorder. And it's so damaging to people that go through very, very real and very, very painful trauma, to then basically say to them, like, but they're your family. And it's like, yeah, they are my family, which is exactly why they shouldn't be treating me the way that they're treating me, because you don't treat people you love like garbage. And we're finally starting to let people say that and start healing and acknowledging what's happened to them. And I think that that is such a beautiful thing, as painful as it is. Um, and my heart goes out to everybody that has had to deal with that, because it's just awful. It's just awful. Yeah. Lindsay P just said, just because you have, I have to be careful how many times I say the word nasty family, doesn't mean you have to accept it or them. It's perfectly acceptable to love them from afar, to keep your peace. 100%. 100%. Madura Art. So are you saying that sending cake with a lax to my ex-colleagues who made my life living hell? Okay, well, I must call it a pastry. Be right back. Oh. Oh. You're funny. You're funny. Project Amanda Music asks, can we raid House of Flux? I don't know them. I do not know them. I don't even know if I can, because you have to like put in all the permissions and everything. So I don't know. I don't know. I will look into them though. I will look into them, because I'd like to find more channels that I would like to like redirect to, because it's very nice when people do that, and I'd love to be able to pay that forward. Okay. All right. We are at the 2-hour mark, guys. I need to stop because my voice hurts. I do want to say thank you guys all so much for being here. Love you guys so much. I will see you guys Monday unless something changes. If it does change, I will send out, if it does change, I usually do a community post, or I post on my Instagram, just to let you guys know, because life happens and life is weird. But I am so happy that you chose me today. Thank you for choosing me. Please remember to like this stream. Please remember to subscribe. Share my content with someone you think might like it. If you think of anybody, we have a lot of fun here. And I hope you had a great time. So I'm going to play my outro. Again, it's going to go for about 10 seconds or so, and then it'll stop. And then if you can reload the page and leave a comment, that would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for being here. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week if I do not see you, and I will see you later. Much love.